This Saturday night, performing live at the Llano Country Opry is a guy that's been there before, and one of the greats of country music, as far as I'm concerned. Tony Booth, he's on the phone with us. Good morning, Tony.
Hi, how you doing, bud?
We're doing good. Thanks for talking to us this morning. We appreciate it. Now, this is not the first time that you performed at the Llano Country Opry, is it?
Oh, no. I don't know exactly how many times. I'd say at least 5 or 6.
Yeah, I think they like you there. They keep bringing you back. And, of course, everybody in Texas loves Tony Booth because he has been around for so many years. I mean, you were commissioned as an official Texans by Governor Rick Perry for your contributions to country music over the past 45 years. How did that feel to have that happen to you?
Well, that was especially cool because I found out that they just don't pass those things out at the drop of a hat.
Right.
They have a group of a committee or whatever that investigates you to decide whether you're worthy of that or not.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's a very cool thing. Now, let's talk about the beginnings of Tony Booth and his career, because you've been singing since you were at a very young age. In fact, you won some talent contests, but then you kind of moved on and decided, I'm going to go to college and quit this music thing, all right?
Well, it's kind of like that. I mean, I never really... whoever thinks I could make a living playing music? It's like being a ball player or something.
Right.
Few people get the opportunity to do.
Yeah.
And we left Florida because of my mother's health and moved to a dry climate, which turned out to be New Mexico. Mm-hmm. And so I enrolled in the University of New Mexico there in Albuquerque with the intention of being a music teacher.
Right.
And one day I just sat in the band hall and I just happened to see pay scale for a music teacher. It was kind of depressing.
Yeah.
And my stepdad was a steel guitar player.
I see.
And I played with him, sat in with him when I was in high school. And so he got me to go out and start doing some gigs with him. And the next thing you know, I kind of got hooked on it. And so I just walked away from the college. I never even withdrew formally. I just kind of walked away. And I really never looked back. I started off in New Mexico and wound up traveling around the country and wound up in California.
Yeah, and you hooked up with some folks there in California that were pretty big stars in country music too. Just dropping a few names, Buck Owens and Merle Haggard were a couple of them that you worked with.
Absolutely. And then I wound up at the Palomino Club, the band leader at the Palomino Club in North Hollywood, and that was the place on the West Coast.
Oh, yeah, I remember. I remember that place. I lived in California for a number of years, and I remember going to the Palomino Club a number of times back in the day. And, it was the big place for country music back then. But you and your band went on to win Academy of Country Music Awards back in the 70s. You got the 2009 Male Vocalist of the Year from the Will Rogers Academy of Western Artists. And you've had a pretty successful career. What, especially the song I remember the most, The Keys in the Mailbox, Come On In. Was that your biggest song?
It was right up there. That and Lonesome 77203 was about the same. But you're right, though. People remember that Keys in the Mailbox.
Oh, yeah. That's a great one. And today, where do you make your home at, Tony?
I live outside of Houston, about 25 miles, a little community called Manville, Texas. Ah, okay.
I saw yesterday where Mickey Gilley is trying to build another club in Pasadena.
Yes, I've heard that.
Yeah, so that'd be really cool if he could get another Gilley's going on in Pasadena and see people like Tony Booth performing there. But you don't have to go that far, because this weekend he's going to be performing Saturday night at the Llano Country Opry. Tell us about your shows for those who haven't seen you. What all do you do in your shows?
Well, we do classic country, which back in the day was called country music. But now,
right.
And we do a lot of... I try to, tell a few jokes and be a little entertaining, because primarily my music is dance music, and that's where my heart is dancing. Mm-hmm. And so we do what they call the shuffle, like Ray Price, Baron Young, that style of music.
Right.
I've been accused of sounding like Ray Price.
Well, yeah, I can hear that in your voice. Now, speaking of your music, do you have any new stuff that you're working on or coming out, or what are you doing along those lines?
Well, what we've been doing lately, I do cut a new CD like every couple of years. But whenever Buck Owens passed away and they started trying to clean out some of the stuff and downsize and be more manageable, and they offered me the opportunity to get my original masters back.
Wow.
From the 70s, and so I said, absolutely, I'd love to have them, and we took them into and had them remastered in Austin, and we started off in 2010, and every year we put out a new, and it's actually a double album on one CD. It's actually 20 tunes.
Wow.
Each CD. And so I've redone all my original material, and of course you can imagine that 40 years later the technology is so much better.
Oh, yeah.
They actually sound better than the day that I recorded them, but they're still the original recording.
How neat is that?
Yeah.
So we have probably 15 CDs that we sell now. And
all right.
Just about everything I've ever done has been redone.
And those going to be available at the show on Saturday night so people can purchase them if they like?
Oh, you bet.
All right, good. Well, it's always great to get remastered versions of songs. I'm sure they sound great, but there's nothing like hearing him live. So if you want to see Tony Booth, he's going to be live at the Llano Country Opry House. That's coming up on Saturday night. Tickets are only $10. You can get them at the door or the Llano Chamber of Commerce. The show's at 7:30 that night. Tony, it's great talking to you. We're looking forward to seeing you up here again, and thanks for giving us a little bit of time in your day there, buddy. We appreciate it, okay?
Oh, thanks, Ed and Kay. I appreciate talking to y'all, and it's been fun.
All right.
We love you,
sir.
Tony.
Thank you. Love you, too.